Hello guys and welcome to this video. In this video we will be talking about how habits work and how you can create new habits, how you can break bad habits, and basically how you can change your habits. We will learn about every single thing in this video. I better hope you like this video. If you do like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the bell icon and make sure to turn the notification on for all of the videos. Comment down below which type of video you want in the future, and let's begin. So first of all, we will have to know with the very beginning, the very basic concept of habits. Well, there is a part in the brain with the name of basal ganglia that is responsible for the creation of habits. Yeah, habits are stored in a separate part of the brain. Habits do not have connection with the memories, like there's a short-term memory and the long-term memory. The brain will store good memories and the long-term memory, so that someday you might remember some of your old memories. So that's because it's stored in the long-term memory. And then there is a temporary memory section, like whatever you did today, yesterday, or day before that, it will be stored in the short-term memory. So if someone asks you after a month that what you did on this specific day, you will not be able to answer them unless the day was something that you did something unique in that day. Let's suppose you went to a party and you do remember that you went to the party, and only that because a lot of you experienced a lot of dopamine rush in that specific day, and you also remember that. So that's why your brain thinks this task actually gave me a lot of dopamine rush, and I have to save this task because I have to save this memory because it's worth it. So brain stores these memories in the form of neurons, and we will talk in brief about how brain stores the memory and stuff in the next coming videos. But this is about habit workings. I just wanted to give you a little bit overview about how the memory and stuff is working. So just keep in mind the habits are stored in the basal ganglia portion of the brain, and basically you can create a habit with three basic steps. Just with knowing these three basic steps, you can create a habit, you can break a habit, and you can change a habit, and you will have your own control of your life. So the first one is cue. Cue is just basically a triggering point for a habit. You might usually notice if you're a bad addictor for smoking, whenever you see your smoking packet, that will act as a cue. And when you see the smoke packet, you will automatically grab it and pick out of a cigarette, and then light it up and then start smoking automatically. You will not be thinking about all this process because it happens automatically. So whenever you see the cue, whenever there's a triggering point, you will automatically go in the routine phase. Routine is basically the thing we're doing, the process that we're going through. And what is the third one? Well, third one is basically the reward. Okay, so basically a habit always needs a reward. If you're not giving yourself a reward, that particular task will never become a habit. So we're talking about a bad habit here. That's going to be smoking cigarette. Well, basically when you smoke a cigarette, the cue is seeing the cigarette packet. The routine is basically taking a smoke out of it and lighting it up and smoking the cigarette. And basically the reward is the dopamine hit that you get, like when you feel the nicotine going into your lungs and stuff. You get the dopamine hit. You say, I'm feeling much better now, and I was sad before, but now I'm not sad anymore. Well, that's because how does the cigarette actually fixes your depression temporary? It just basically it gives you a high level of dopamine rush for that specific period of time, and when you get more dopamine hits, dopamine is just basically a chemical which is responsible for pleasure, for you feeling happy and pleasure and motivated. And for that specific period of time, you will feel kind of better. Maybe your dopamine levels were bad before when you take the cigarette, and when you smoke it, your dopamine level increase for the moment, but after you're done smoking and stuff, like after a couple of hours, you will feel even worse because dopamine levels do not go back to normal. They go back even worse. So never crave for higher dopamine rushes, because it will just mess up your life. So we saw the three basic steps for how does a habit work. It needs a cue, which is a triggering point, and then a routine is basically the process we have to go through just to get the reward. The reward can be anything. It can be you feeling the satisfaction, you're getting the dopamine rush, and it can be like you're giving yourself something. Now here the question is, how do we make something habit? So why do we need to make something habit? First of all, let me give you a very basic example. Let's suppose you want to study, but you're not feeling to study every single day. because motivation doesn't last forever. Discipline does, and discipline is basically making the task automated, which is with the help of habit. By making it a habit, by making studying your habit, you cannot study every day. Okay, sorry. I had to go for a moment. So, well, basically, where were we? In the habit creation something. Okay. So yeah, I was speaking about like if you want to make studying your habit, because you cannot force your brain just to study every single goddamn day. It will be so much hectic. So what do we do? What do we do? How can we fix it? Well, we do have solutions for that. And in that case, I will take, other than take an example of making studying your habit, I will take the example of making brushing your teeth daily your habit, and how we can do that. Well, as we already know the process, we need three things. We have three steps. One is the cue, then we have the routine, then we need the reward. And reward is very important. Well, so then in this way, what we're gonna do, okay, yeah. And also another thing to mention is basically it will take you up to 30 days to create a new habit, and up to 30 days to break a bad habit. So you have to force yourself till 30 days. You have to do the thing that you're doing for 30 days at least till it will become automated. So for making brushing your teeth an automated task, what you have to do, you have to find a cue, and the cue in our case is going to be the triggering point for us to force ourselves to brush our teeth automatically. For us to make sure that brushing our teeth is an automated task, we will get a cue, and the triggering point is going to be going to the bathroom. So for the first 30 days, what do you have to do? Whenever you go to the bathroom in the morning, you have to grab so whenever you go to the bathroom, you have to stop brushing your teeth. Like, you have to force yourself for at least 30 days. You have to get the brush and stop brushing your teeth till you're satisfied. And then when you're done brushing your teeth, this is a routine. Cue is basically going to the bathroom. Routine is basically you brushing your teeth. And reward is a satisfaction. You feeling, okay, my teeth are white now. I smell less bad. I don't smell that bad now. And also my teeth are getting stronger. You need to get the satisfaction. Or if you're not feeling the satisfaction, if you're not feeling satisfied with you brushing your teeth, then what you can do after you're done brushing your teeth, you may offer yourself something. You may offer yourself something good. Maybe you may eat a piece of beef. You may eat a piece of stick or something. Just give yourself some reward, because if you're not giving yourself reward after a specific task, the brain will not the brain will think it's a waste task, and why should I even make this behavior an automated task. So unless until there's not a reward section in a particular task, it will not become a habit. So you have to give yourself reward, and you need to keep the cue and the reward proper. Okay, you make sure you cannot change cues all the time. If the cue is changed, the habit is gone. All right. And that's something you need to understand. If there is no cue, there is no habit. If you change the cue, you will lose the habit. Well, I'm not saying like the bathroom should be exactly looking like this. Well, it may be a little bit effective. Let's suppose when you were in your own house, you used to go to the bathroom and you used to automatically brush your teeth. But when let's suppose the environment changed, you went to a new house. So when you go to the new house, you will remember you were brushing your teeth every single morning, but you will not have the automated habit. Like, your hands will not automatically go to the place wherever you used to put the toothbrush, and it will not automatically do the stuff. You have to think about it. You have to see, where is it? You have to grab it. You have to do it, and for another 30 days, you have to keep doing it until it becomes your new habit. Like, you automatically grab the brush and do the stuff. You don't even have to think about it. You can just be on a phone call and while brushing your teeth. So this is a very basic information about habit creation. And same goes for the study. Like, if you want to study your automated habit, like, you don't want to force yourself to study every single day. So what you can do, you need to have a specific schedule time. Let's suppose I'm saying, if I want to study, I will study in the morning. I will start my studying sessions from 7 a.m. Till 8 a.m. So I have to keep this time. So when you have the specific 7 to 8 session time, like 1 hour, and then what you have to do, you have to start studying. The cue is going to basically, let's suppose the cue is going to be when you start drinking a cup of water, you're going to start studying in the morning. And make sure you always drink the cup of water at 7 a.m. I'm just saying, like, if you want to make a very strong habit, because if you just keep changing the cues here there, the habit will not be strong. You will not have enough strength over the habit, because it will be weak. It doesn't know what it actually meant to do, right? So keep a specific time, keep a specific cue, and then do what? Just go through the routine. And when you're done studying, just don't say, okay, I'm done studying. Oh, that was a lot of hectic process. Just don't do that, because that will not help you to make your studying an automated task. What you have to do basically is give yourself some reward. Maybe when you're done studying, allow yourself to play a game for like 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe allow yourself to, check out social medias, or maybe, give yourself some treat, maybe some chocolates, maybe some candies. But keep in mind that you don't give yourself a very big reward, because let's suppose you're giving yourself some very big reward, and for that first 10 days, the reward is feeling. Okay, sorry for any kind of inconvenience. I'm back. I had to pause the video. So I was basically just mentioning, like, you have to give yourself some reward, like after you're done with the studies. Give yourself some sweet rewards. And the thing that I was mentioning, don't give yourself some big rewards, because let's suppose for the first 10 days, you're feeling good with the reward, like you're eating chocolate after your process, and after 10 days, you know, feeling the reward that much, you don't think the reward is that much worth going through all the routine and stuff. You don't, you think it's not, the great reward is not, that much pleasurable to just crave that. I will do all these routine just to play, just to crave for that specific reward. So the thing is, like, you don't give yourself reward all the time. You give yourself some reward sometimes just don't give it. Or even if you want to give yourself reward all the time, keep their, keep them a little bit different. Like, sometimes give yourself a good reward, sometimes give yourself a normal reward, sometimes give yourself a little bit bad reward. It's just to mention, make sure that your dopamine levels are being, properly managed. Because if you're always giving yourself a good reward, that means the dopamine levels will increase for the specific time, and then it will go back down. And then slowly, when you keep giving yourself that good reward, what will happen, eventually your dopamine baseline will increase. That means you will already be better than you were before. So let's suppose, like 10 days ago, when you're eating a chocolate, you were feeling, excitement, you were just going up to the moon. But after 10 days, when you're eating chocolate, because you have been eating chocolate for 10 days straight, now when you eat chocolate, you don't feel that much excitement. You're like, okay, I'm just eating it every day. I don't really feel the pleasure anymore. So that's the thing. You don't want that thing to happen to you, right? So someday just eat one piece of chocolate, someday 2 pieces of chocolate, someday eat just a half slice of chocolate or something like that. Make sure you manage your dopamine levels. Just don't push your dopamine to the extreme, so that you will feel, stressed out, and you will feel like, I cannot do it anymore. And what the neurologists have to say about habit creation, they say, just don't only crave for the reward itself. Don't only make your habits that you're only craving for the reward. That's why you're doing all this routine. Also, keep some, also make the routine itself pleasurable. Don't make your routines so hard that you're only, your habit only is dependable upon the reward. If there is no reward, you will never, you will never fall. You will never do you will never do the task, because the task routine itself is so complicated, so hard for you, that you don't want to do it. You have to do something. You have to make your routine that way that you will also feel good while you're doing the thing. Let's suppose if you're studying, you should feel good about studying. Like, you should you should enjoy studying. It's not only about, like, you're specifically targeting the reward and not enjoying the process itself, because that's like something that you should not be doing, and that's going to mess you up. Because if you're only craving for the reward and not even craving for the routine itself, you will not be able to cope up with the habit for a long time, and slowly the habit will lose its strength, and you will not be able to follow the habit anymore. It will become a weak habit. So this is something that we have to know about. And now let's quickly talk about how do we get rid of a bad habit. So getting rid of a bad habit is basically, one second, do I have anything else? 1 second, my bad. No, it's fine. So basically, to get rid of a bad habit, what do you have to do? You need to remove all the cues. If you want to get rid of a habit, you have to remove the cues, because if there is no triggering point of the habit, you will never do the habit. So let's suppose you have a bad habit of smoking every day. Then do what? Remove all the cues. Remove all these smoke packets from your house, and remove all these and just don't go to the places where you used to sit down and smoke. Just don't go there, because you don't want that habit. You don't want that habit to trigger. You don't want any cues to trigger you. You don't want any triggering points for that specific habit. And when you don't do a habit for a very long time, it will lose its strength, and it will become a very weak habit. That means it will not have much strength over your brain. And if someday, like after a couple of months, when you have already stopped smoking, because you remove all the cues, it's much easier for you to just focus on your work and not just start smoking, because you never see a smoke packet. Or even if you thought about a smoke, you're keeping yourself busy in other stuff that you don't even have time to think about smoking. So, and like this, you will get rid of smoking. And like, let's suppose after a couple of months, you're seeing a smoke packet or someone offers a smoke, you will say no, probably. And even if you say yes, then you have to, make sure that you don't smoke anymore, anywhere near in the future, because just smoking one more time, one time after a couple of months is not that bad. But you should avoid it, definitely. And basically, you will probably say, no, I'm not, I left smoking and I'm not smoking anymore. Because now it's not even your habit, so you don't really care anymore. It's not like you will automatically grab his smoke and start smoking it. You will think with your brain, because the habit has gone so weak. Now your brain is working, right? Now there is no automated task and stuff as that. And it's about removing a bad habit. And let's talk about how do we change a habit. Well, to change a habit, you need to make sure that you're keeping the cue and the reward kind of the same. You're not messing around with the cue and the reward. Basically, cue and reward is like you're not changing the routine. You're not changing the triggering point, and you're not changing the reward, but you're only changing the routine. What's a good example for this? Let's suppose that whenever you have to go buy grocery, you do what? You pick up your basket and you go out and you start the car and you just go for a ride, and you go to the shop and you come back with the grocery that you have just purchased, and you get the reward. Basically, the reward here is you getting the grocery back, and the cue is basically you feeling the need to get grocery, and the routine is basically you driving the car. Now here the thing is, like, you're thinking that I don't want to drive a car anymore. It costs a lot of money, like fuel and stuff. I want to go on bicycle instead of going in car. I just want to go in bicycle. So do what? Keep the cue same, like keep the triggering point same, just don't mess with it. Keep the reward same. Only like for the first 30 days, yes, it takes 30 days to change the habit also. For the first 30 days, you force yourself to not use the car, but to use the bicycle instead. And after 30 days, you will notice that you automatically, whenever you want to go buy grocery, you will go out and you will, start riding the bicycle even without thinking about the car, because you have changed the habit successfully. It's how it works, right? And just like that. And you always need to keep in mind, like, the small bad habits. Like, we usually ignore about small bad habits. We say, it's okay. Like, let's suppose when you're fighting with someone, you call them with names and stuff. It's your small bad habit. You don't really think about it. But the repetition of small bad habits leads to a big bad habit. And in the future, you will get teased for this thing, and maybe you will face bigger conflicts. So always make sure to check if you have any, if there's any issue with you. Like, if you're not focusing on these small bad habits, you should not be repeating them. If you're repeating some small good habits, like small good habits, like maybe let's suppose keeping the water out for the cats to drink it, it will just make you a better person overall. Like, when you just keep repeating the whole stuff, like your brain will go into the scenario that it will become a helpful guy. Like, whenever you see any anyone, any guy who is in need, you will help him eventually, because you already are helping the cats, so you will also help help the humans also. So it's like small habits creates big change. That's how it works. Okay, so do we have anything else to think about? Well, I think that's it for this video. Well, it was a quite long video, 18 minutes of video. I made another video before this one. That went over like 14 minutes. I think that was a very big one. I don't want to piss people off for 40 whole minutes. And that's why this video is only going to be for 20 minutes, specific 20 minutes, right? And in the ending of this video, I will mention, like, in the next coming videos, I will deeply talk about dopamine and stuff as that, because that's going to change your life. And also, I will give you a very good example of automating your habit, automating your task. Let's suppose basically you're a new driver. You have to go out and you have to grab the keys. You have to you have to open the car door. You have to check if there's any obstacles here and there, if there are any rocks, and you have to open the garage door. You have to go in the car. You have to wear the seat belt. You have to put the car in the first gear. You have put the car in the reverse gear. You have to start the car. You have to put the handbrakes down. You have to get the car back of the car. You need to check if there's any cars coming from the outside. You have to park your car outside, and then you have to put your car back put the handbrake on, and you have to close it. You have to close the engine. You have to close your garage, and you have to go back in the car, and then you have to start the engine back again. You have to leave the handbrake again, and then you're good to go. And when it becomes a habit, it just all becomes automated. That's it for this video. My name is Elderny. I will see you in the next one. Have a nice day.